we have Andrew Chorney, Cheryl Hartman, Christina DeWar, Lisa Buckholz, Kyla Leonard, Melissa Fisher, and Pat. In 206, we have Commissioners Slotnick, Vero, and Strohmeyer.
Here.
Chris Lounsbury, Ann Hughes, Mike Tester, Annie Kathy, Brian West, Bryce Christian. That's it.
Thank you. Is there any public comment on items not on the agenda? Okay, 2 items on the consent agenda. Anything needs to be pulled out or discussed separately?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second that.
Further discussion or public comment? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Commissioners, I'm going to ask you to jump to item 2 and come back.
We will jump to item 2. Tester.
I didn't recognize you without your gear on. I totally didn't. I don't know if this guy sitting next to you. Without a hat, all the vest, like you're not in uniform.
Starting to warm up, so.
Okay.
So yeah, Commissioners, good morning. What you have before you is a dedication of public road and utility easement on Butler Creek Road. And I believe this is the last piece necessary to move forward towards construction of the Butler Creek Trail.
Fantastic.
Oh, wow.
So yes, that's exciting. And so we're looking for you to sign and accept this right away.
Move, we do just that.
Second.
Any further discussion or public comment? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. It's great to get this done.
Oh, seems like
Works
it's been a
forever.
while. Yeah, we still have some gaps out there, but we're good for the trail.
So many people worked on this.
Should we go to correspondence and discussion items? Or,
No, we can do item 1.
okay.
Mike's I knew was short, and this might be a something long.
I'll get
Brian
that.
West.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good day, everybody.
Good morning, Commissioners. I am here asking the Commission for approval to appeal the termination of one of our grants and to designate Bryce as our designated point of contact for that appeal. Looking, Commissioners are well aware that there was a termination notice provided with it just over a week and a half ago. Having reviewed this,
I think I was away, so I'm not familiar with this.
You have missed out on a lot, apparently.
Sorry for that.
Shame.
How dare you?
I'm going to provide the framework for the ask, and I'll let
Okay.
Chris give you a better illustration of what the actual goals of this grant do. We've been reviewing it for what the county's offers are. And between currently the range of doing absolutely nothing and losing what is $1 million grant.
Could you provide just some background? Josh missed out on the grant that has been
So this is the EPA grant that.
Or hub.
Right, yep, the one stop justice.
Yeah.
So yeah, we received a termination notice, just over a week and a half ago, saying that it no longer met the goals of the agency.
Of course. Thank you.
Yep.
So looking at a range of options between doing nothing and full-blown litigation, the recommendation as of today is that we follow through the appeal process that's contained both within the grant as well as within federal law. And the justification for that, at least from the preliminary assessment, is that as it stands today, the policy and legal support that underpin the grant still exists. But I think moreover, in speaking with Bryce and Chet, we actually believe that the benefits of the grants actually do align with the current goals of the EPA. And so what that process requires is that Missoula County craft an appeal notice within 30 days of the termination that provides our legal justification for why we think the grant should not be terminated. As part of that, we have to designate one individual to be the point source contact, and that's what Bryce has volunteered to do, and that's part of our ask to you. But if you approve this today, we will work together over the next week to craft that response and get that submitted to the EPA for redetermination of the termination of this particular grant. If in the process of doing this, we come up with any other sort of alternatives, we would be back before you to ask for further authorization. But that's the nuts and bolts of the ask of today. And I can let Bryce kind of elaborate more about the grant and what it is and why we believe it's with the.
Would you mind talking about what you guys see as the goals of the EPA and how this is actually in line with those goals?
Yeah, I think that's what we've been kind of looking into and talking with Callie and Corey, as well as Chet and I talking. But the goals, as they were outlined in the grant, was to create this one-stop shop as well as set up this pilot project to showcase some of the benefits of these energy retrofits in homes. And the focus was really on helping homeowners experience lower utility costs as well as increased comfort and improved air quality in their homes. The EPA under the current administration has provided 6 pillars of what the agency's goals are. Pillar number 1 is clean air, land, and water. Clearly, these retrofit activities and the focus on air quality and comfort in homes still aligns with that, very much so. And we actually had reporting components within the grant proposal and the project to be able to assess and determine the success metrics of that, to actually showcase the real world air quality improvements in these spaces. The second pillar of the EPA under the current administration is to quote, cut energy costs for everyday Americans. And so again, the one-stop shop, the work that we were focused on doing for all residents of Missoula County was to help them improve an aging housing stock, whether through weatherization, upgraded electrical, whatever, and to walk them through that process and help them understand that process, connect them with contractors and local businesses that can do this work. So we feel like we're very much in line with the top 2 pillars of the current administration, even without changing language within our current grant proposal. So
Just to satisfy, what are the other 2? One's AI and what was the other one?
AI is one, and
Is interested in AI.
I think that might be a broad mandate to all agencies under the current administration, but yes, it was included in
Gave
their,
us a sheet.
yeah. I think automotive industry was also a goal of those 6 pillars, but I can't remember all of them off the top of my head.
No worries.
I just think it's important to underscore that that perhaps the termination of this grant was a little bit premature. And we'd like your blessings to go forward if you
Yeah.
would. And
Enthusiastically, I'm so glad that you guys are doing
For
this.
sure.
Yeah.
What is the appeal process like?
well, as I said, we have 30 days to provide written documentation that explains our legal rationale, policy rationale to the designated contact of the EPA. At that point, they have up to 180 days to consider our appeal.
Okay.
Either reverse course or, and then depending on what the outcome of that is, if they reverse course, certainly let you know if that's the case. If they affirm the appeal, or excuse me, the termination, we'd likely be back to you to talk about further actions we could contemplate at that time.
Who is
In the
your
mean-
contact at EPA?
It'd be Sarah Holman, I believe, but I might be misstating.
Sarah Holman, and then there's an individual
Is this
that's
the
identified, out of Denver, yeah.
In Denver?
The individual that was identified tied to the grant project is in Denver. There's another individual tied to the dispute process that I can't remember.
There's a lot of flux, but with your blessings, we'll get that appeal in within 30
What
days.
happens, okay, so, I mean, the public has been super excited about the one-stop shop and is already engaged, what happens now with kind of the work that was beginning? And then what happens to the staff while we're waiting for this?
Questions we're assessing.
Yeah,
Way to phrase that.
say that. The staff currently is still answering questions. They had completed their rollout information series, 4-week series through the last month. Are continuing to get questions from the public on these resources, and we've been answering them.
But it's all on our dime right now, unless we're successful with the appeal. Is that correct? I mean, we're not going to get any reimbursement from the EPA at this moment in time.
As it stands right now, that is correct.
So right now, we're paying these folks.
I mean, the intended goals of the grant, they won't be carrying forward. Everything is on pause right now. But to the extent we're expending any resources, it's not going to be reimbursed. Anything obligated up to the date of termination, which was 2 Thursdays ago, would be reimbursed under a final closeout. But we hope to not have a final closeout this early.
Yeah.
I would move that we approve the appeal.
Any further discussion or public comment? All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
We understand that designates Bryce as our designated point of contact.
Yes.
Yes.
And that too.
Thanks for taking this on.
Thank you.
Correspondence. Clinton letter thanks for drafting that. To Clinton Community Council.
On also, if you have any questions.
Oh, sorry. Kyla, is there anything you wanted to add?
No comments, just here for questions if needed.
Okay, legislative update.
So no real update today, commissioners. The House and Senate will be on the floor for the next 2 days as amended bills transmittal is this weekend. And so they'll be easily attempting to get things transmitted between the two, so no committee meetings. So not much.
New on the. I think. SB 2.
Okay. 10 minutes. Have a great Thursday, everyone.